that's when I said training bra. What are you going to train it to do? Oh, hello there.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us once again for this, the
100th episode of Drunk Doctor Who. All right, we're getting there. Hey, wait. What did you do?
What? I didn't mess with the board.
Yeah, right.
No, I didn't do anything.
Wait, yes, you did, sir.
I think you changed the color of some of your piece.
Oh,
that's checkmate, by the way. Yeah, what?
No, you didn't. I don't think.
The only way I can win this game.
Put in pieces when they're not supposed to be there. Oh,
where did that come from?
There you go. All right. What are you drinking today, Holden?
I thought, it's our 100th episode. I'll break the bank. Go outside of my comfort zone. Try something new. So I'm drinking twisted tea.
I splurged and got some Crown Royal Apple. Good stuff. I really like this stuff. I can't get that often because it's about twice as expensive as most of the stuff I drink. Mm-hmm. But occasionally I get it.
Yeah, I've had some of that before.
It's good.
It's good. Congratulations.
Cheers. 100 episodes.
100 episodes.
4 years in, and we've watched a third of Doctor Who, and almost none of the side stuff.
We watched a little bit of the side stuffs.
2 movies and the K9 and Company single episode. So
three movies. We had the docudrama.
Oh, we did watch. Yeah, we did watch Adventures in Time and Space. We did.
Like the special features of the.
So we're going to do we've got like another 12 years ahead of us.
Yeah.
I'll be 65 by the time we finish.
Are you up for it?
I'm 53, yeah. No, I'm up for it.
Just waiting to see who regenerates first.
Oh, I don't want to regenerate. Alright.
I would. That'd be awesome.
Alright. They're not kidney stones.
Who's the villain?
Alright. The bad guys would be
Are we going to write
Vivian
down
Faye.
each one of her names?
No, we'll just go with Vivian Faye.
Césaire of Diplos.
Yeah, but Vivian Faye and Ogre. Alright, so today is July 25th, 2022. We watched The Stones of Blood, the 100th serial for Doctor Who. And 4 episodes aired from October 28th, 1978 to November 18th, 1978. The companions were Romana and K9, and the antagonists were Vivian Faye and the Ogre.
And kidney stones.
Well, the Ogre turned out to be stones like... you think they're stones.
Silicon-based life forms.
Yeah, globulin deficient. Alright.
I didn't know stones were silicon.
Something like that. Alright.
So, now, they really didn't go all out or do anything special for their 100th episode. I mean, neither did we, but serial. But you think they would have thrown a little something extra in there, right? The 100th serial. No.
Well, I mean, you would have thought that, but they went by lettered production codes.
Oh, yeah. I guess they were even keeping track of it. They probably didn't even realize.
Don't know. They may have not. But remember, this serial is the 3rd serial, part of the Key of Time.
Key of Time.
Yeah, great season. There's 3 more serials to go. Yeah, because they had production codes that were A1, A2, A being the first season, and then they kept going. I mean, eventually you get to
24 season.
26, so they used up all the letters, yeah. So the modern stuff was double A, yada yada, double B, stuff like that. But they do that for production codes and things.
Now, we did do a little bit of decorating for our 100th episode. There is a streamer off camera.
A single streamer drawn on the whiteboard off camera, but
just for us. It's just for us.
Then why mention
You don't get to see it. Because they feel like they're missing out on something.
How do they know they feel like they're missing out?
Because I just told them. That's how we feel better about ourselves. It's like, yeah, look at us, we have a streamer. And they're like, oh man, I want a streamer.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Okay.
Draw your own.
Draw your own. Alright. Real simple serial. 4 episodes.
Pretty goofy.
Wait. What did you think?
I liked it. I think I liked the previous serial more. But I'm having a lot of fun with this season.
Well, the Pirate Planet.
I did enjoy it. The Ogre were real bizarre. It's really hard not to laugh at a giant
8-foot stones.
sentient stone just... And every time they ran away from it, it was kind of like, well, it's not moving that fast. It'd be like, quick, run! And they'd kind of pick up all their stuff and kind of go away. It's like, well, it's not really that pressing. Oh, no!
It's not.
They pick up the tripod.
They glow when they're hungry and coming after you.
They're like stepping real carefully as they run away from them. It's like...
It's kind of a silly serial, like he was saying. But I do really like the performance given by the Dr. Romana, and what's the lady's name?
Amelia.
Oh, she's fantastic. I love her.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she died not that long after the making of this, because she was pretty old.
Why would you even bring that up?
Because it's one of her last performances.
Oh, that does make it special.
Yeah, it's like Heath Ledger winning Best Supporting Actor after he passed away, because the Joker was so good.
What was the name of that last movie he did?
The Imaginarium of Dr Harnassus.
Yeah. He died during the filming of that movie.
And they replaced him with 3 of his friends. Jude Law, Johnny Depp, and I can't remember the other one.
Orlando Bloom?
Yeah. Anyway, they filmed all the stuff outside in the Imaginarium, and now they film the stuff inside with him changing as he went in, which works.
It did work.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, I've got like 2 or 3 more Terry Gilliam movies to show you.
Yeah, The Fisher King. That other one.
The Zero Theorem.
And Movie McMovie Face.
Movie.
Or whatever.
Bodie McBodie Face.
What's the name of the other one? I already forgot the second one. Just
The Man Who Killed Don Quixote.
The Fisher King. The Man That Killed Don Quixote and The Zero Theorem?
The Zero Theorem.
Got it. 3 more Terry Gilliam movies to watch.
And we had The Hunger to the list tonight.
The Hunger. Yes, we did.
Okay. Anyway, so pretty straightforward serial.
Which is true.
The Doctor and Romana are looking for the 3rd piece, the Key of Time.
It's like the Infinity Stones, and each key does a different thing. Like the 3rd piece can change the appearance of things, right?
Yes.
Did it mention what the first 2 stones do? Or does not each piece have a specific ability?
Not necessarily, no.
Oh, okay.
But maybe they all have that ability, but nobody realized it about the other 2.
Yeah, they just said it. I'm like, did the first 2 do stuff? Or is it... Feels like they're chasing after the Infinity.
Well, the first one was a Scriv Stone, remember?
A what?
A Scriv Stone. My old pop, he came back with that Scriv Stone.
Oh, yeah. Cures what ails you.
Yeah. I still like that guy. Yeah. Listen, I really enjoyed this
season. What'd you think of the accent?
Really enjoyed the season.
Unnecessary.
But yeah, this serial is a bit ridiculous, and it's still fun. So the Doctor and Romana show up on Earth at a not Stonehenge. It's a different stone circle, but it's one of the stone circles. They say there's 3 of them that provide augurs, soothsayers, fortune tellers, and that for some reason this is one of them. And they think one of the stones might be the 3rd part of the Key of Time. They're looking around, but the tracer's not going off at all.
Scotland, Ireland. These stone circles are a big thing because he kind of used them as Aztec calendars. Like they keep track of the stars and stuff with the stones. It is their calendar. So you have shows like The Outlander. They put their own spin on it and said that you could time travel with the stones. Big cultural, fun fantasy.
I don't know, but wait till we get to the 11th Doctor, where
More stones.
they'll go to Stonehenge.
Oh, there you go.
And the Pandorica.
Just wait till the 17th Doctor where he gets kidney stones. They're time kidney stones.
Oh, so bad. Alright. Okay, we're about to start the 14th Doctor. Alright, so...
We got a ways, don't we?
Okay, so the 13th Doctor is having her
she did her last, yeah.
She hasn't done her last episode, because right now we're in July, and the last episode's probably going to air in October, which is the centenary of the BBC, because it started out as radio.
Oh, that's a big thing?
Yeah, so they're doing a bunch of specials.
100 years.
Yeah, 100 years of the BBC. Happy birthday, BBC.
It's everybody.
But then Shutai Gatwa, who will be the 14th Doctor.
Never catch his shoes on time.
That's how I remember his name.
Me too.
Yeah, Shutai. Anyway, so it's a very odd name.
Mnemonic device.
Yes, you are correct. It bugs me, but yes, you're correct.
It works. They work.
Anyway, he may or may not start immediately. There are rumors that they're going to do other Doctors.
The in-betweeners?
Yeah, but essentially next year during the 60th anniversary year, leading up to the actual anniversary, and the rumors are that Tennant is back, maybe a couple of the other Doctors.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and that we won't see Shutai Gatwa till the end of the 60th anniversary episode.
So he's like the cliffhanger.
Well, yeah.
It's like Luke when he comes out to get the lightsaber from Rey.
Usually, the new Doctor shows up at the very end of an episode.
Oh.
Occasionally, they show up at the beginning of an episode.
Pertwee did that, didn't he?
Pertwee, yeah. He showed up and fell out of the telephone box. Because we didn't see the actual regeneration between Troughton and Pertwee. We just saw Troughton kind of spiraling down in the black and white, and then Pertwee shows up in color.
We hear Troughton comment on Pertwee's face, I think.
I don't like it, yeah.
And then at the next episode, he says he does like it. He came around on it.
Yeah, but usually at the end of an episode, you get the new Doctor, so we'll probably get Shutai Gatwa at the end of the 60th anniversary.
Well, that's exciting.
But like I said, every once in a while, it's at the beginning of an episode. It also happened with McCoy. McCoy, hat, upper right, yeah. McCoy shows up at the very beginning of an episode.
Looks like a stooge or something. I get him.
Well, Three Stooges.
He just looks so different from the other Doctors.
He was a clown. Literally a circus clown before they hired him to play the Doctor.
I thought that was Troughton. Wasn't he also a clown? Or no?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I think I get those two confused.
Oh, alright. But anyway, so right now, in the United Kingdom, there literally are no dates for upcoming Doctor Who releases.
Oh, clear slate.
Well, yeah, it's weird because that almost never, ever, ever happens. They always have the next date for the next release.
They are changing producers, though, right?
Right. Well, yeah, they're going back to Russell T Davies. Yeah.
Or just
goodbye, Chib Nall. He's already left the building.
They're changing the whole company that does Doctor Who as well, though.
Yeah, I told you about that. The BBC has licensed it out to Bad Wolf, which is now owned by Sony. Yeah. Which is good because Sony is a Japanese company and they're not woke. Very specifically, you see that in.
Are they asleep?
No, woke is in super leftist garbage, which has been one of the problems for Doctor Who during the Whittaker time.
Do conservatives sleep more? Or?
No, it's just a term. But anyway, so we're waiting on the announcement for the next Blu-ray box set. These that I have here.
Bad Wolf, like a Doctor Who reference?
Yes, from
So
the first several seasons of Doctor Who.
They started a company and named...
series, the first several series.
They started a new company and named it a Doctor Who reference?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Sony, like, started off owning that company?
No,
or?
Russell T Davies made that company because he's the one that came up with the Bad Wolf stuff.
Oh.
Sony, the day after it was announced Russell T Davies was coming back and that Bad Wolf was producing it, the day after Sony bought that Bad Wolf. Yeah. So we're waiting on the next date for these box sets.
He's banking then. He's doing alright for himself.
He is. We're waiting on the date for The Abominable Snowman.
Could you imagine starting a company? You know, being a scriptwriter, you start your own company to produce a show. You start a brand new company in your basement. And the next day, like 12 hours later, Sony is like, we'll give you several $1 million for that.
That would be cool.
You'd just be like, ooh, quick turnaround.
Yeah, thank you. And we're waiting for the announcement for the date for the Centennial special. Now, the UK doesn't have any new dates. We still have a date for Colin Baker's first season. Season 21?
21?
21. So Colin Baker's first season is coming out on Blu-ray in October for us.
Oh.
So we have a date, but the United Kingdom has no dates at the moment for any of that stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll have it on Blu-ray before we get there, right?
Yes. We're not going to get there till October. Now, look at the next couple of seasons. The next 3 seasons we already have Blu-rays for.
Oh, cool.
So we'll be watching...
high fidelity.
Yeah, we'll be watching the next 3 seasons in Blu-ray, and maybe more because hopefully some of these other seasons come out in the middle there.
I want to put a mic back here because I have the podcast. We're projecting our voices this way.
Well, it doesn't matter. This microphone picks it up all really well. And remember, now that we've shortened the tripod, after we broke the other one, the echo problem has been fixed.
I notice I mumble a lot when I've been drinking.
Okay.
You sort of have that thespian stage presence. You're like, and then the second episode, and I respond with, and I'm watching it back later.
Turn your microphone up.
Yeah, I'm like, what am I? I'm constantly doing this with the volume.
but that's what I was talking about the other day. You know, you have to have the stage voice. You know, you have to do that. Yeah. I got it from running all those tournaments where you'd have several hundred people and you have to project to them.
You're very good at that.
Oh, thank you. And it came in handy when I was working at the movie theater because I looked at my manager and I was like, okay, so The Dark Knight was coming out.
Nice.
Right? And sold out constantly, right?
You used to work at Cinemark?
Yeah, the movie 17.
17. Okay.
Yeah, at Tinseltown. That's where I met my wife, Alyssa. We were both moonlighting there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I told my manager, he's like, well, we need to tell these people that have their tickets out, yada, yada, yada. I said, wait, let me do this. He's like, what? I got this. He's like, okay. And then I did the projection voice, and everyone stopped. They listened, and he's like, holy mackerel. I'm like, I've just got it, you know? I've got that voice. It just... I don't remember why I originally developed it, but yeah, I've got it.
It's hard to make anyone listen to anything anyone says nowadays, so that's... He was right to be impressed.
It was cool. Anyway, okay, so the Doctor and Harnassus show up, and they're at this circle of stones, and you have Amelia and Vivian Faye, who they show up, and they are surveying the stones again. And
you also have some augury, probably. We don't know.
We don't know, yeah. The augury are the big 7-foot-tall stones.
Well, before they get off the TARDIS, they have a outfit change. Romana does, and she decides to wear heels.
Bad decision. Because they're going on rough terrain. Anyway, so they're out there on the rough terrain. out in the countryside. The doctor goes, well, wait a minute, because Amelia talks about this other guy. What was his name?
Who was it? Oh, the doctor?
Yeah, the other bad guy, I guess. He should be on this list. Demons or something.
Leonard Devers. Devries, I think.
Looks like DeVry Commercial College. Alright. Devers. Anyway, so Doctor says, well, I'm going to go to his house and talk to him. The Romana, yeah, it's a manor house. Huge tracts of land. So the doctor goes over to his house, tells Romana to stay with the ladies because he suspects something and she's wearing problematic footwear. He goes to the house, lets himself in the gate, lets himself in the front door, and then DeVry, he's like, okay, they're having a nice little rapport and conversation, and then the doctor sees this owlbear thing, and DeVry it looks kind of like an owlbear, and then DeVry just hits him on the back of the head with something, knocks him out. In the meantime, Romana with the ladies.
Does an owlbear count as a beast, or is it like a mutant?
It's definitely a beast.
It's a beast?
Definitely a beast.
I think so too.
Have you seen the trailer for the new Dungeons and Dragons movie?
I have. Yeah. Honor Among Thieves.
Mm-hmm.
Looks good.
Looks like it's
it looks better than the previous Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Which, oddly enough, had Tom Baker in it, our current Doctor.
I love the first D&D movie.
But you remember Tom Baker being in it?
I don't. I was very young when I saw it.
Okay, don't put it on the list, but we'll watch it again sometime. Yeah, which I probably liked it. I actually saw that before it was released because working for Wizards of the Coast at the time. And I got to see a preview. Yeah, an early screening. But yeah, Tom Baker was in it. He was the Elf Lord or something like that.
I don't remember that. He was the bad guy, or?
No, not really. But he was in so very few movies. Yeah. His acting career was basically Doctor Who.
How did he get the role with no portfolio?
He did a couple things before then, but he was chosen. I mean, he was working as a construction worker. He got the news while he was on a construction site working.
That's great.
Yeah, kind of the same thing for Harrison Ford becoming Han Solo. He was literally working on the guy on Lucas's roof. Mm-hmm. And Lucas said, "Hey, I want you to come in here and read because I've got these other guys, which were Princess Leia and Luke Skywalker. I want you to read these lines," and he ended up getting the job.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about Indiana Jones. He went on to.
Mm-hmm. And he's still doing stuff. He's still alive, but
yeah. Man, is he getting old?
He was good in Anchorman too, though.
Yeah, he was. I just saw that one recently too.
There you go.
I have not a whole lot of streaming services. I basically do like YouTube and Amazon Prime. And YouTube just started doing like a whole ton of like movies that are free with ads. Mm-hmm. So with an ad blocker, they're just free movies. But I've been watching like Anchorman and whatnot.
Well, we usually do those too, but we have Netflix currently. We turn on Netflix every once in a while to catch up mostly on Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all anyone really watches nowadays. Netflix, for it to be really worthwhile, like to keep it, month to month all year long, people really just have to get like a VPN nowadays so they can spoof their IP address, so you can watch region lock content.
Oh, I hate when they region lock.
Yeah, why do they do that, by the way?
Well, they do that because, back in the old days...
We're not in the old days.
Movies were not released worldwide at the same time. Mm-hmm. They would release a movie in the U.S., they would use some of the profits for that to dub the movie into Italian and French and Chinese and whatever. Right, and they would do that across the world, but it would take months, so the movie would roll out across the globe over time. A lot of the big productions these days are released almost universally at the same time. Much of the Marvel movies, etc. There are a few exceptions, but in the old days they would scroll it around. That's why you have the region lock. Is so a movie that was released in the States in March, but may not be released in Japan until August. It can't be viewed in Japan until August, or until later.
Yeah. I mean, they do video games, and movies, and streaming service, and it seems like such an antiquated thing that, like, we're having a conversation about daylight savings time and how we should get rid of it, and then they got rid of it.
Wait, did they get rid of daylight savings?
They did. They voted to no
when did this
longer
happen?
do this year. I thought you had heard. I thought we talked about it.
Okay, I may have been drunk at the time, like I am now. But wait.
Yeah, we're not.
When does that start?
I think next year is. I can't remember if we're rolling forward and staying there or rolling back and staying.
Okay, if they're gonna do it, they need to stay on the daylight savings time, not on the old time.
Right. Because
Texas, we tried to do that. But then the federal government, some years ago, the federal government said, no, you got to stay on. Oh, yeah, I remember that conversation. Because it was tried in 1972 under Richard Nixon. But the problem was kids were going to school in the dark in certain areas of the country. So they didn't like that. So they scrolled it back in 73 and they went back to it.
I think we're staying forward. And they voted and it passed unanimously. And
it's like marijuana legalization.
Yeah.
That should pretty much pass unanimously. I don't understand why they haven't done that, because federally, half the states it's illegal anyway. Or here in Texas, quasi-legal.
Decriminalized, which is
federally
illegal.
Alright, you're to check, by the way.
Is my turn? I thought it was your turn. I am.
No, I'd take your king if it was my turn. It's your turn. You go and then I go usually. That's why you're white and I'm black. The color of the pieces.
No, I just like you explain.
You can push a pawn if you want, but
that's what you would like me to do, isn't it?
I just took your queen. I'm pretty happy with the board status, whatever.
I bet you are.
You do what you want to do.
This is all bad for me.
Yeah, you're down a couple of knights.
I think this is my best move.
So anyway,
Oops.
Okay, movie came back. Alright. Well, that's bloody simple. Check. Alright, and we'll wait for next week.
Okay.
Alright. Sorry, he moved his king back rather than push the pawn forward.
I mean, what would you like?
I brought him the knight up.
If I put the, and then you get a free trade, and then
no,
I can't trade that because it's protected.
No, that's my king, not my queen.
Oh, I thought that was a rook.
Our queens are gone, man.
I was thinking
our queens are bloody gone.
I was thinking this was another rook that was gonna come out.
Sorry, the pieces are not super explicit, but no.
Have you seen the difference between a queen and a king?
It's the number of humps and the size.
Exactly the same. If I replace my
also
king,
the crown.
This might be a bishop. I don't even know.
No. Look at the number.
It's just rocks piled on each other. Someone took a bunch of pebbles and glued them together and went, yeah, I'm gonna.
This is made in Mexico by.
It's a lovely board.
It is lovely.
Aztec.
I do like it. It was given to me by a good friend who'd gone there.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm sorry to hear. No, they're still alive.
Oh, I thought you meant like gone as in passed away.
No, they've gone to Mexico. They have been to Mexico.
Well, that's much less sad. I'm glad you heard.
Okay. So the doctor goes to this guy's house, DeVries. Gets knocked on the head, unconscious.
Let's go to Mexico. I'm so sorry.
This is why we do these podcasts. They're just hilarious. Especially to us. I don't know if they're hilarious to anybody else, but while we're drunk, they're hilarious to us.
It's just for us. That's why the one streamer is up.
Okay,
it's so... That's our motto. It's just for us.
Exactly. 30 subscribers. That's all we need, you know?
Boy.
Oh my gosh.
So DeVries.
So, knocks him on the head. And then Romana hears the doctor's voice. Okay, so the two other ladies, Vivian Faye and Amelia head out because they're done with their work. Romana's like, I must wait here for the doctor. She's waiting in the stone circle. She hears the doctor's voice. She casts aside her inappropriately high-heeled shoes for this terrain, and she goes barefoot, and she's looking to find the doctor. She keeps hearing his voice. She goes to a cliff, and then she's looking out over the cliff, goes, there's water and rocks way down below. She turns around, and she's like, no, and then she falls off the cliff. End of episode 1.
Cliffhanger.
Yeah, a literal cliffhanger. We don't get a literal cliffhanger very often.
I do have a few questions.
wait. Saving the questions at the end, or do you want to do them now?
I think it breaks up the recap a little bit more. It makes it...
By doing them now or saving them till the end?
By doing them per episode.
Okay, then what is your question?
I did want to talk about the high heels.
You didn't?
I did.
Oh, you did?
Because it seems very weird and bizarre and out of place. So
I mean, she was already a tall lady. Why do you wear high heels?
She is a tall lady. Very, very pretty lady.
Mm-hmm. If you're at least 5'9", do not wear tall heels as a female, because you're going to tower over almost every male.
Which, if that's what you want, go for it. You do you, girl. So Vivian, Romana, that one. Romana comes out of the dressing room. She has a very appropriate Scottish attire, like this peach suit.
Looks nice, actually. It really
what
looks
do you
good
call
on
it when like the pants are attached to the shirt? It's one piece.
A bodysuit? Or a one piece?
What?
One piece?
Rump.
Rump? I didn't say rump.
Romper. It's called a romper. So I don't know if it's a romper. She's wearing like a peach romper and like a golfer's hat, and you're like, that's fine. And it pans down. She's wearing these like ridiculous high heels. You're like, well, that's gonna be difficult.
Yeah, about this tall.
Being in Scotland, yeah. And the doctor says, I don't know about the shoes, and she's like, I like the shoes. And he's like, all right. And then
he's like, please yourself.
Throughout the first episode, there's like a lot of close-up scenes on her feet, and because she's wearing heels and she's barefooted and with the heel, and there's like the indent in the ground. And she like steps in it, and it like zooms in on her foot, and then.
Well, she uses the heel to test the density of the earth. At that point,
I feel like whoever was in charge was just being really creepy, because there's this like some sort of foot fetish kind of stuff going on, because there's a lot of barefoot close-up shots.
I gotta like drink down before I spit it out.
So here's why.
Big time foot fetish.
Here's why. Like something happens. It's a little weird. It seems unintentional. You give them the benefit of the doubt, right? Something happens twice. You're like, I don't. So the reason
once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, Third time's a habit.
Okay, fair enough.
Third time's the habit.
So the reason I'm in this mindset where I think like wardrobe or writers are being real creepy about it, it's because I went down this rabbit hole about how this show writer, this guy that worked for Nickelodeon and Disney, was a gigantic pervert who had this really weird foot fetish. And you go through and you look at his entire portfolio, like every other
and they
episode.
zoom on feet.
He's writing like barefoot gags, and it's so weird. And then I saw this, and it reminded me of that. I'm like, that's weird.
To be fair, there was a producer, not a producer, I think a director on Doctor who turned out to be a pedophile, and he used Doctor Who to lure children in.
Did he write for this episode, or
no? Not this.
Okay.
It's later down the line, for I think the fifth and or the sixth Doctor, I believe. I don't know all the details because I don't want to know all the details. I don't want to look into that. It repulses me.
The problem with humans is the deeper you dig into anything, eventually you find something just awful.
We were talking about that earlier, about the Mother Teresa example. Yeah. All right. But apparently this guy appeared in a couple of Children in Need specials, and they managed to remove him somewhat tastefully, but he was not a good individual. And nothing came out for the most part until he had passed away.
He
just
used to
not
bury that stuff. Like, stuff used to not come out so much.
No, it used to be buried. The Bill Cosby scenarios, yeah. But this century, they're not burying stuff like they used to last century.
Really exhuming everything.
Yeah.
Probably some things that don't need to be exhumed.
Correct.
I would almost rather be in one extreme than the other, though.
You'd much rather not know than know, yeah.
I feel like I'd much rather have things exposed and have people overly sensitive than just to ignore things and pretend like they don't happen. So I'm not a cancel culture person, but at least it's a conversation. I prefer a conversation to no conversation.
Right, correct. But it's like I was saying earlier, it's like people are complicated. Everyone has good days and bad days. Everyone does some good and some bad. Hopefully the good far outweighs the bad, and you're 90% good, maybe 10% bad, but don't let the 10% bad eliminate all the good you've done your entire life, I mean, I have lied. That doesn't mean that I am wholeheartedly a liar. In fact, I'm known for telling the truth.
How can I ever trust you?
Yeah, but I mean, in my life, I can remember at least 3 times lying,
Does this dress make you look that better?
No, it's the fat that makes you look fat.
That's true.
Oh, I can tell you some stories about that exact line.
I'll take an honest friend over a nice friend.
Exactly. My wife, we were shopping for dresses for our honeymoon, and she's like, "Does this dress make me look matronly?" I said, "No, it's your age and your haircut that make you look matronly." The whole women's section at Sears got quiet as you could imagine. And she looks like my mother-in-law thought the wedding was off. But my wife says, "Yep, that's why I love him. He's honest." It was so funny. Oh.
That is funny.
But I mean, I said it boom without even a second or thought. It was great.
There you go. I forgot what we were talking about.
Okay, episode 2. Oh my god.
So I have some questions about one.
Oh, we're still on. Okay, questions about episode 1.
The foot thing was weird.
The what?
The feet thing was weird.
It was.
That's about it. That's all I wrote down.
That's all your questions, Russell. You stopped the story to ask about feet.
Yeah, because it was weird. So that we
Okay.
So we talk a little bit about, we get a little bit more insight into the Guardians, and you have the Guardian of Light and the Guardian of Darkness, the white and black Guardians, and how they're in perfect balance. And they keep the balance of the universe, except
especially the White Guardian.
Especially the White Guardian. But not the Black. The Black wants chaos, right? But why?
Entropy.
Why? Wouldn't he prefer things in balance? He gets 50% of the... Because I feel like when you introduce chaos and you break the status quo, that's like a third faction. Like, who enjoys chaos?
So, remember it's like the Dark Knight? Some people just want to watch the world burn, you know?
But why is that the Black Guardian's job? If he's in perfect balance with the White Guardian, shouldn't it be like Republicans and Democrats can agree on they don't want the country ran by anarchists, right? Shouldn't the Black and White
I'm not so
Guardian
sure Democrats agree with that. Okay,
That's fair.
Okay. To be fair, this is 1978. We're talking 45 years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Doctor Who being a probably family show at this point,
yes,
was very much into the black and white. You know, they're absolute good and absolute evil.
Mm-hmm.
And we have the White Guardian who's absolute good. We have the Black Guardian who's absolute evil. Mm-hmm. The Guardian of Light and Order, and the Guardian of Night and Darkness or whatever, Chaos.
Okay.
And it was just, I don't want to say it was a simpler time because that's fairly condescending. But it
this is more black and white kind of. There's less gray area. More like
reality is full of gray areas. But
yeah.
I just want to say that the show projected a simpler premise.
A more yin yang.
Yeah, yin yang, black.
They're
white.
not interested in presenting the villain's, reasons for what he's doing, making a relatable villain. They're just bad.
Okay.
Good versus bad. Like,
generally speaking, although with the Master we get great gradations of gray. Davros, no. Davros is straight evil. But with the Master we get some good gradations of gray.
Later on.
And somewhat previously, but
so
yes.
far I think there's no argument to make for the Master.
But
lock him up forever.
you do see some like when the Master realizes in Pertwee's era that the aliens are coming down the beam from the. Remember when he set all the giant telescopes into space? They were going to come down, they were going to wipe out the planet, including him. So he worked with the Doctor to defeat those aliens whom he was previously helping.
Yeah, that's his whole motivation, is self-preservation.
Right, but he's not willing to kill or to genocide billions.
Your argument for the Master is that he's not crazy. I'm still not.
I've got to give you that. Okay,
I'm still not seeing the gray area yet. I'm sure he becomes a much more
the pure evil. The pure evil would want the genocide, even if it took him. Yeah. While a modicum of grayness means he's not willing to kill billions. If it kills him,
he's evil harnessed by self-preservation and power. And
so that's a modicum of gray.
That's okay. I'll give you that. I agree.
All right. So
episode 2.
So the Doctor wakes up on a sacrificial altar stone.
He does.
And it gets me. And there are all these quote-unquote druids, not the proper druids, the modern equivalent of the druids, which is, we believe in this because somebody in the 18th century said this is how it worked. Anyway, they're about to sacrifice him to this goddess, Camilla, or whatever. This one lady's like, no, she's never wanted a human sacrifice before, because apparently all the other blood sacrifices were animal. And the guy, DeVries, like, no, this is her will. Right at that time, Amelia, can't remember her last name, but she shows up on a bicycle, and all the druids scatter. Doctor's saved by her, and then they look for Romana, and they find they're looking for Romana, and Amelia's like, well, all we can do is organize a search party in the morning, unless you have a dog. The doctor's like, you're a genius, dog. And he pulls out his little whistle, high frequency whistle, and calls for Canine. Canine shows up. The doctor's like, hey, Canine, find Romana. And Canine eventually, after some elaboration of what he can and cannot do, finds Romana. Romana, literally hanging off the cliff, doesn't want to go with the doctor and Canine because she believes the doctor pushed her off the cliff. The doctor takes his extremely long scarf. I think we've told you the reasons for that extremely long scarf. And Romana climbs up, and then she pushes the doctor away and says, don't touch me. It's you who pushed me off the cliff. That's like, me? Never. He asks Canine, who am I? Canine goes, you're the doctor, master. Problematic word these days, but anyway. I have no problem with it, but lots of people do. Anyway, so Canine's like, okay, you're the doctor, master, and the doctor's like, okay. The doctor says, Romana, I didn't push you off the cliff. And he says, wait a minute. The item we're looking for has special powers, like we were talking about earlier, that it can transform things and people. So this person came and looked like me using the powers of this item and pushed you off the cliff, but it wasn't me. So the doctor and Romana head back, and they go to the cottage of Vivian Fay. And they start trying to figure out what's going on. The doctor says, I think I've got an idea. And he goes, okay, I'm going to head off to the manor, because they figured out that Romana has figured out. Come in. Romana's figured out that the site of the stones has always been owned by women.
Yes. Or a woman.
The convent. Wait, what are you doing?
I'm showing the streamer.
You put that back.
It's a streamer.
It's a little blue squiggly line. Put that
Happy 100th episode. And just
it was perfectly placed. What are you doing?
And just in case you're curious how badly I'm losing,
he's down 2 nights. Put that.
And there's the foot fetish for the.
That was so perfectly placed.
Sorry, I messed up here. You like it?
Exasperated sigh.
It's okay, don't worry. Your toes are still in the shot.
I don't care about my toes. Well, not in as much as they need to be in the shot. No. Do you have the same shot we had before?
Same shot. I think it's lined up with that line. And it's lined up with this one.
Right, hold on. Alright. Yeah,
I might have touched Baker's hair a little bit next to the clothes.
It's slightly down, but otherwise you are correct. It's pretty good.
I lost my
That's pretty good. Okay.
There's my spot.
You're correct. It is. It's pretty good. Alright. So Romana's figured out that the stones, the circle of stones, has always been owned by women up until Mr. DeVry. Yeah. And the doctor heads back to the manor to try and find some books on that. and Romana, she go with them? But Vivian Faye stays in the cottage.
Yeah, is this where he walks in on them being ambushed by Ogre? The head squished.
Pretty close.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, we're almost in the episode 2.
Yeah. I don't think Romana is with them yet.
Well, I'm gonna get some more eyes.
Okay.
You keep going to the episode.
So the doctor gets back to the manor, and he discovers Mr. DeVries and his wife.
Maybe?
I don't think she was ever named, but
yeah,
his head is smashed. And he describes it so graphically. He says his skull's been crushed and his face has been smashed into a pulp or something really gross. But his head is just off camera, so you can't see it obviously. But it's a kind of a gory description. But he gets to the manor and he finds these 2 dead people and this guy with a crushed face. That's like somebody sat a giant rock on top of him. He's like, oh no, what happened? And then there is as he's looking around the manor and he's there with Amelia, and in the window behind him you see this giant, the big glowing rock, which I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but man, is that a goofy villain? It just being followed around by big glowing rocks, which is apparently a race of aliens named Ogre from the planet Ogron, which sounds like a planet we visited before. I don't know. So they make a break for it, right? And then K9's there. So he's zapping lasers at the Ogre, and the Ogre goes around the corner, and K9, like a good dog, chases after him to chase off the intruder, but there's a tussle. And K9, sadly and heroically and tragically, almost dies fighting this ogre. Of course, all this happens off screen. This is about the time that Romana shows up, I think. So K9 scared off the ogre. They go and get K9, but he's all smashed up. His innards are. It just shows his paper shredder. Because as one of the props they're using for one of K9's inner mechanisms is just a ton of shredded paper. And I don't know why. I mean, he does have that faxing printer that comes out of his chest when he prints stuff out. So I guess he just has this backlog of like shredded paper inside him. So they have K9 upside down on the table and they're doing this type of autopsy. And the doctor has these like salad tongs, and he's just taking out paper shredded and like motherboards, it's like chipboards, and he's just tonging them out into his hat. And it's this nice big emotional moment of how they don't know if K9's gonna make it, and what can they do to save K9. And K9's like, I'm not gonna make it. You just have to scrap my parts. And they're like, no, don't you give up on me. And Romana says, some science jargon, blah, 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 plot device, TARDIS, save K9. And that's what they do. They take K9, they take K9 back to the TARDIS, because that's where they have the TARDIS special reversing polarity of damaged K9 machine-o-matics. And they plug a few things up into his butt, and they're redoing his circuit board or something. So K9's fine, which is nice. I thought we might be seeing K9 2.0, but no, he lives, and he's just fine. So while they have this reprieve and they're on the TARDIS repairing K9, they discuss the battle strategy. Yeah, we were talking about K9's heroic sacrifice and how they plug some stuff into his butt on the TARDIS to save him. Science jargon. So while K9's being repaired, they have this reprieve to discuss their battle strategy, and it's basically, we have to go back to the Ring of Stones and find out what's going on.
And they start theorizing about hyperspace.
And hyperspace.
So apparently, The doctor's like, yeah, it's a
note,
theoretical absurdity.
one of my notes, I was having trouble with my pen, so this is my note for episode 2 is just fucking pen.
Pardon me. Well, I doubt we'll bleep that. We don't know
what?
But
I didn't curse.
Yeah.
Right. We're just discussing my notes.
Okay. So, eventually, Vivian Faye is shown to be...
She's the lady in the owl suit.
Right. There's a woman who's been there forever, who is Senora whomever and House whomever and whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But the doctor finds the pictures that were removed because he finds a priest hole that goes down into a basement. Finds the pictures, and it's Vivian Faye.
It's a small hole.
Yeah. And, God.
It is.
So, the doctor figures out that Vivian Faye is this Calamay or Calamar or whomever they're worshipping or whatever.
Oh, they're worshipping the... It ends in ack.
Calac or whatever.
There's a lot of phlegm in there. DeVries says Calac.
Wait. What's your name? Come on. How do you spell that? A-C phlegm. So, anyway, the doctor figures out that she's this 4,000-year-old being who's been hanging around. That's how the stones have been there. And she then kidnaps Romana, takes Romana up to hyperspace, which the doctor and Romana talked about.
It's the
end of episode 2.
Is when she's
abducted and taken to hyperspace. All right, episode 3. The doctor's working on a method to get him into hyperspace. He's working on this funky laser gun with crystals and stuff.
K9's 75% repaired at this point.
Yeah.
So he's kind of chirping in.
All right.
There while
have you talked about the deaths?
Yeah, the crushed heads.
Crushed heads, and then we get another 2 later on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and 1 ogre, which I don't know if you count ogre.
2. The one that drowned and the one that was...
they don't know if rocks down. But 1 is turned into a dust, so...
Yeah, that one definitely. So 5 deaths. 4 humanoid and 1 ogre stone.
And then 1 ogre that fell in the ocean. We don't know if he's dead or not.
Yeah, so 5 to 6, who knows. Alright,
Not too gory, but the first 2 deaths are very gorily described.
Yeah. So
the doctor walks in, he's like, man, that guy's face is mashed potatoes.
Not quite, you're paraphrasing.
It's just left to your imagination. You're going, oh.
Thank goodness, because, you know, I don't want to see that on
his face
family show, you know? Alright. So, the doctor and Amelia, they go to the house and they're looking for old books.
Yeah, they can't. The house has been like wiped clean and they can't find anything predating 1700.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's a long time ago.
But she got there 4,000 years ago and they're trying to figure out who Vivian Faye is.
So the old joke is, to Americans, 100 years is a long time, really? 1,000 miles is a long distance.
Yeah.
To the Brits, 1,000 years is a long time and 100 miles is a long distance.
Yes.
You know? So they're like, yeah, the house was built in 1579, and we're like, that's old, and they're like, yeah, not so much.
Did you know how many people live in Canada?
36 million.
Yeah, it's about like 38 now, but not a lot, right?
Right.
Less than I thought.
Well, yeah, it's Canada. It's cold. Why would you want to live there? They all come here and they become actors. Like, who's the guy who did The Mask?
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, yeah, he's Canadian.
Justin Bieber. We're having a lot of English actors, British actors. Like every single Spider-Man since Tobey Maguire has not been American. What happens is there are like no American actors because like all the English and British actors come over and they have an American accent and they're just better at it. Have you noticed that? Like, so many actors, you watch like 10 years ago, every movie you watch, you're like, man, that was a really good movie. And you looked it up, you're like, there's the actor. And then you looked up, an interview, and then they're speaking in this totally different accent. And you're like, oh, they're British? I didn't know. Like Ewan McGregor, or Australians. There's so many.
Ewan McGregor.
Like Hugh Jackman, just like people you would never expect to have an accent if all you did was watch their movies. And you see their interview, and they have this like really strong English, British, Australian, Canadian accent.
Ewan McGregor is Scottish, and he's had that accent since
forever.
Shallow Grave. Love that movie, Shallow Grave.
Just in my life, I just found out like back to back, so many actors that portrayed Americans with like American accents were not American, and it just kept blowing my mind. I'm like, what?
Okay, to be fair, I don't think any companion or doctor on Doctor Who has been American. Even when they portray America, they're still British.
I'm talking about like 2005 to like 2015.
Yeah.
It was like a decade in my life, just like where every single one of my favorite actors I found out were not American. I just didn't see it coming because they have just perfect.
It doesn't matter.
It's just subverted expectations because they have these perfect American accents in their movies. And you sit down and you click on an interview and you're like, what?
But it doesn't matter. I mean,
I'm not saying it matters. I'm just saying I was surprised.
Okay.
Like if you know me, right? And then one day I come in and I just start talking in a really strong English accent. And you'd be like, what? And I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm English.
No,
I've just been
English.
faking this American
You're
accent.
Texan.
But that was my experience.
Okay.
I click on a video and be like, why is Hugh Jackman talking like that? Why does Ewan McGregor talk like that?
Hugh Jackman's Australian.
Why does Harry Potter have an accent?
Hugh Jackman was in the movie Australia.
Daniel Radcliffe, just everybody in my life. I'm like, they're not American. Because every single movie protagonist is American.
No, Daniel Radcliffe was in Harry Potter. Harry Potter did not even recognize America until Fantastic Beasts.
But he spoke with an American accent.
No. He was very, very, very British.
He didn't have as much. He didn't speak in his normal accent in the movie.
I don't know.
I
can't tell you what his normal
like,
accent is.
The Deathly Hallows, and then you watch whatever year that came out, like 2012, and then you watch an interview with Daniel Radcliffe in 2012, same year, entirely different voices.
But isn't that part of acting?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I mean, okay. So I want us to do a series of videos.
Yeah, let's do it.
Where
yeah,
I'm interviewing you or you're interviewing me, and it's all impromptu.
Yes. And I interview you on subjects that you have no idea about, right? And you interview me on the subjects.
It's all impromptu. I could say, hey, wait, weren't you in Vietnam during the escape? During when we left, the helicopters were falling out.
I didn't know you knew that. I didn't know you. So we're making it up as we go along.
Impromptu, that's what I mean. Yes.
So improvisational. I thought.
Yes, improvisational.
Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. That sounds like fun. We're just doing make believe interview.
Exactly. So I could
be hydrophysicist. What?
Exactly. I could be the great poet.
Just put you on the spot.
The great man. And you could say, didn't you do this? And I've got to come with, hey, yes, I knew Herman Melville
just
personally, and
just you have no idea what you're coming in to sit down to, and then I just put you on the spot, and you just have to see how good of a BSer I am.
Right, or vice versa. Yes, or vice versa.
I love it.
We have to do that. We really have to do that.
You know?
I'll have to get a pipe, you know.
Exactly. We'll have a tweed jacket with the leather.
Well, if you want, but I've been wanting a meerschaum pipe for a while.
What is that?
It's a particular type of
corn pipe.
It's a particular type of substance that yellows with age.
Like
meerschaum or something.
It's like a bone pipe or something?
No, not quite, but it yellows with use.
It's like a bark or?
No, it's
like
white.
A stone marble?
It starts out like kind of like ivory, and it yellows with age like ivory does.
So it's a type of wood?
No, I'm not sure what it is.
I heard recently that you're a meerschaum expert. What is that material? Where's it come from?
It was actually created by fairies through fairy dust.
Oh,
yeah, they're little guys. They're about this tall, and they created.
So just squeeze it out of them.
Exactly, exactly. If they have more cancer, you get more meerschaum. What the hell are you talking about?
It's like a feedlot with the cows, and they hook up the milk thing. It's just fairies they're squeezing the meerschaum out of them, wringing them out.
If you're at home watching this, I'm sorry.
I'm not sorry.
I really am. Thank you for watching so far. Where the hell are we on Doctor Who?
The Drunk Doctor Who podcast. It's just for us.
Yeah, where the hell are we on the actual serial?
We're on episode 3, I think.
Oh, I hope so.
Romana's just been abducted into hyperspace, and the Doctor and Amelia and K9 are sitting in the living room tinkering a machine to get the Doctor into hyperspace to rescue Romana.
So the Doctor goes up into hyperspace thanks to the machine that Amelia is working with the help of K9. Mm-hmm. K9 keeping the ogre at bay.
That's the plural.
Ogre's the plural of ogre. Cacti, cactus, yeah, that makes sense.
Tectorum.
Yes. Anyway, so the Doctor goes up there, and K9's like, mark your spot, because you're gonna it's a very narrow beam, you're gonna have a hard time coming back down. He marks a spot, and then he goes and he looks in the various bays of the spaceship he's in hyperspace. Most of them are dead creatures. And then he finds Romana. She's next to an android. That's kind of...
Oh yeah, she's tied up, and it's like this really creepy, what's that like weird mechanic macabre like 90s theme where like every robot had just a pair of those clacker dentures. There's like a specific style, and like there's so many music videos that just had robots with like the dentures in them.
Yeah,
and it has the weird eyes, like the eyes and the dentures.
She's right next to one of those. Apparently the robot or the android's been dead forever. Romana's alive, but she's in this, like, it looks like radiator deals, like alternator for your car. The Doctor lets her out. The Doctor's looking around, and then he breaks the glass on.
The Doctor releases Romana from her wrist clamps,
right,
with a sonic screwdriver. What?
No. Well, yeah.
Why doesn't Romana have a sonic screwdriver? Is that not like standard issue for Time Lords?
It's not. Apparently the Doctor makes it for himself specifically.
So the sonic screwdriver is something that's unique to the Doctor?
Apparently.
I did not know that.
Whoever looked at a screwdriver and said, I can make this more sonic.
It's more sonic.
Yeah. But it comes up with the Ninth Doctor.
And I'm going to use it.
Eccleston.
I'm going to use it for anything but screws.
No. It was originally used for screws.
Originally.
It later becomes used for much more, but yeah, originally used for screws, and then for blowing up landmines. The Third. Alright.
You jumped the shark on that transition.
Mm-hmm.
It's like all of humanity's been using alcohol to sanitize stuff. It's like, wait, we can drink this? That's way cooler.
Okay. The first two things any civilization invents religion and alcohol.
Yes.
That's literally the first two things any civilization invents. So we have a civilization. We need something to worship, and we need alcohol. Literally, it happens every single friggin' time.
Mankind is something, they're in a vicious cycle of they invent something, and then they have to invent something to deal with it.
What do you mean they? We're part of mankind.
Yeah. It's like I come up with something, and I'm like, I need a drink.
Okay, agree.
You invent the problem, and then you come up with the solution. And that's basically been past 6,000
Here's
years.
the religion, I can't deal with it. Thank you. Exactly.
It's like humans are like, yes, God, and then later they're like, God is dead.
God is dead. Nietzsche is dead. God. I love that.
That is funny. I haven't heard that.
You haven't heard that? No, it's awesome. Alright. Up yours, Nietzsche. You're dead. Thank you. Jung's dead. Thank you. You guys are such toast.
That reminds me of this really funny stand-up that I gotta show you.
Okay.
I forget the name of the guy. So we're on the ship now.
We're drunk. Alright. So the Doctor then breaks the seal and lets out a couple of justice machines. Apparently these justice machines are some weird type of android, but they're
organic android law machines.
Yeah, but they're represented by lights. And apparently breaking the seal is a criminal offense. So they're going to execute the Doctor for breaking the seal, even though he let them out. He's trying to... Wait, it's the end of episode 3, right?
The end of episode 3 was Romana being abducted into the ship. So we're in 4 now.
Yeah.
Being on the ship.
So episode 4... No, wait, I thought that was episode 2.
Oh, you're right. The end of episode 3 is when they're the machine that zaps them back gets destroyed, and they're trapped in hyperspace.
Okay, so
we flash back down to Earth with Amelia, and she has the machine that zapped the Doctor to hyperspace, and K9's defending it, but his battery's running low.
Yeah, I do like him. I like that actress. I like that character. Anyway, so the Doctor and Romana are trying to get out, but the justice machines are stopping them, and they put the Doctor on trial. And the Doctor's trying to make the trial not so much about him, but about Vivian Faye, because she's this horrible person.
Do you remember what the justice machines are called?
Man-taps or something?
That's where I just want you to make something up.
Man-bear? What are they called?
They're the Magra.
Magra.
Megara.
Alright, so the Justice Machine sends the Doctor to death. The Doctor...
you know their names.
Yeah, Magra 1 and Magra 2.
Judge and Judy.
Judy.
Judge Judy, yeah.
Alright.
She is old, man. She's still doing television. She's so old. Like, why do some actors not retire? Like, I get if you're passionate about some things, but like, at some point you're just way too old. Like Biden.
Correct. Way too old.
It's like he's doing the best he can.
There's
not much.
Such a low bar. Alright. Up yours, Biden. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go. Anyway, so the Doctor is like, I object. You can't execute me, because they decided to execute him because he broke the seals. And he works the whole trial thing around, so they figure out that the woman, Vivian Faye, is the horrible person. What's her name?
Cesare?
Yeah, Cesare of the sigil or whatever. Yeah. And they figure that out, and the doctor's like, oh, this takes a while. And the doctor's like, okay. So they go down, they say, okay, she will be in prison forever. And they turn her into a stone for one of the 9 travelers, the stones in that stone circle. And the doctor takes her necklace, her pendant, before they do that, because of the third piece to keep.
I believe that's mine.
I believe it's mine. Takes it. Do you want some?
Stuff's kicking in.
Have some.
Maybe.
Have some.
You feel toasty?
Yes, I do. Thank you so much, sir. Have some if you like.
I'll have some when I get home.
What are you gonna get? You don't have any of this at your home, do you? Alright. So the doctor takes the necklace around her neck, and she gets turned into a stone for perpetual imprisonment. The doctor says the Mantabs.
What?
What are they called?
The Megara?
Megara. Back on the ship through hyperspace, and the doctor and Romana take off. And Amelia's like, well, I never, when the TARDIS leaves, she says, a police box. What is a police box doing here? Because she's literally, she's like 70 years old. She's old enough to remember that police box. And she's befuddled when the police box takes off. And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah. I like how Romana says, are you going to write about what happened? She said, of course. Are you going to write about everything that happened? Of course not.
I have my reputation to protect.
My writer's reputation to look after, yeah.
Alright, do you have any questions?
A few.
Alright, continue.
This was probably my most favorite bad episode serial. This was a just terrible, awful serial, and I loved it. It was some of the
I can understand that. But it's so funny.
Some of the practical effects, like the Megara being these light beings,
and the ogre
looked really good. And then the ogre looked really, really bad. And then you see a canine shooting lasers and particles. You're like, that looks really cool. I like that visual effect. And then you see Romana dangling in front of this green screen. You're like, that looks really bad. So some things they went years and years, and they still look really good. And other things not so much. But the main reason the serial's so bad is the fourth episode. Basically, the entirety of the 4th episode is just like a courtroom law jargon setting,
and I love up the headpiece, which
his
they
dyed
use
wig,
in the United Kingdom.
his powdered wig, and it was. I imagine it would be very boring to some people, but I loved it. I don't know why. I was very into it.
So you really liked the series?
I did like this one, yeah. It wasn't good, but I liked it.
What? When was it good? It was good.
Objectively, it was pretty bad. But subjectively, I really liked it. I like the different themes that were explored. I thought the Megara were an interesting concept. I actually like courtroom settings. So
okay.
It was fun.
I can agree with you to a certain point, yeah.
Does the Doctor ever have any fangirls?
Wait, in real life?
Just in the show. Does he ever come across a time traveler that just goes, I love you. I love your work.
Eventually, yes.
I knew it.
I'm thinking of the.
I knew it. Because every superhero, every person, every Sherlock Holmes, every someone that's done something awesome is really good at doing something specific. Like the Doctor, he travels in time.
Mm-hmm.
He's incredibly smart. At some point, he's gonna pick up like a few followers that are just like, you're
in the modern stuff he does, and there's Osgood.
I thought it would be modern stuff. I knew it would.
Not so much in the classic stuff, but in the modern stuff, yeah.
He just never has like some groupies show up going, the TARDIS is awesome.
Modern stuff a bit more.
Okay.
With Osgood and Lovin Monsters. Oh, such a bad episode.
There's a Doctor Who episode called Lovin Monsters?
Yes.
Have you seen the movie Lovin Monsters? It might be a series, but I think it's a movie.
Maybe.
Huh.
What's
I heard it's
about?
good. The world gets overrun by monsters, and this kid has to face his fears. They're like insect-like monsters, and he's terrified of insects. But
is that wrong to build the wall on the Mexican border?
I don't think so.
Okay, that.
He has like a compressed air canister powered crossbow.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen it either, but
what other questions do you have?
That's why I brought it up. I wanted to talk about Romana and the Doctor's relationship, because you mentioned you're not the biggest fan of Romana, and
not Romana 1, Romana 2, yes.
I feel like I have a feeling that the general consensus. That's the word. Is that Romana was a very popular companion?
Not Romana 1. Romana 2, yes.
But why is it that you don't like Romana 1? You use the word
too
imperious.
Yeah. It's like, I will control you. I am the queen. Yeah. No.
I agree that she's very she's kind of uppity, but at the same time, I like Romana because I really feel like there needs to be another Time Lord who's very competent that puts the Doctor in his place. Because the most annoying characteristic of the Doctor is that he's this Time Lord, this very intelligent being that spent a whole lot of time with not being around other Time Lords. Mm-hmm. So he's gotten very cocky and overconfident because of it, because he's normally around less intelligent races going off having adventures. So he's gotten himself into this situation where he thinks he knows everything and he thinks he knows best. Mm-hmm. And he really doesn't. And it's because he forgets what it's like being around people that are as intelligent as himself. So I feel like for the Doctor's character to progress and grow, it's very necessary that he have a companion like Romana, at least for a little while, to point out his own faults in a way in which he can't really argue with it.
He'll have Romana for a while.
So I
2-3 seasons.
I do feel like Romana's a healthy thing for the show, and I do enjoy it. Mm. I don't think it's coming from a place of like toxic femininity. I think it's every argument that she picks with the Doctor is valid. Yeah, it's well placed. Whereas Vivian, for example, I did not like Vivian at all in the first episode when she's pretending not to be a villain. But I thought she's a great villain in the rest of the show. But the reason I didn't like Vivian was she's this Black Widow type character, and she comes across as she just hates all men just because they're men, and she's like, typical man being, and I can see why that's a very annoying characteristic. Someone that argues with you based off of something frivolous like your gender or your race. But I don't think that's Romana. I don't think she's coming from a place of, I'm superior.
She's so imperial. Like, she doesn't take crap. And you local people, you know nothing. Yeah,
I don't get that.
Imperious. That's the word. Imperious.
I don't get that vibe. But I guess we'll agree to disagree.
We'll wait till Romana 2. Okay. I love Romana 2. When I was such a kid, I had such a crush on Romana 2.
Did you really? And not Romana 1?
Yes.
Romana 1 is gorgeous.
No, I had such a crush on Romana 2.
For Leela?
Oh, such a crush on Mama too. Like I wanted to marry her. I mean, it was just that much. Why do you laugh? It's true.
It's endearing. Yeah, everyone's had that someone.
We'll get there in about 4 serials. What other questions do you have? Have we covered them all?
I think so, yeah, that was my last question.
Alright.
I think we're all cut up.
Yay! Happy 100th episode! And in 4 years, maybe the 200th episode.
What do you think our total runtime is?
No friggin'
We gotta be close to like 200 hours at least.
No. Yeah.
That's like 2 weeks straight of just non-stop content.
Nobody's gonna watch us straight. Nobody's gonna watch us.
No one's gonna watch it sober.
Exactly.
Well, in all seriousness, thank you so much. If you do tune in, thank you for joining us on our Dr.
100th episode.
As always.
Thank you so much, and thank you. Goodbye.
Jumping in your TARDIS and traveling back in time with us. Year 1978. I will see you next time.
We'll see you next week. 101st episode.
Hatter, do you want to do anything special before we end the 100? Do you want to say a curse word? Say a swear. Say a swear word.
I don't want to say a swear word.